Some fortunes are new. A founder, a single decade, a company that changes the world. Others are old, centuries old, built stone by stone, treaty by treaty, generation by generation, long before the word investing even existed. Today, we're looking at 10 of the wealthiest royal families on earth, not to admire the number, but to steal the lesson. Because underneath the crowns and the palaces is something every single one of us can actually use: patience, land, ownership, and time. This is Power Chronicles. Let's get into it. Every figure in this video is drawn from real, sourced financial reporting, not viral guesswork. And this time, we're going one level deeper: the institutional wealth of each family, and the personal net worth of the individual currently at the head of it, where that's actually documented. The British Royal Familiars, an institution, an estimated $28 billion in combined assets. The Crown Estate, the Duchy of Cornwall, the Duchy of Lancaster, the Crown Jewels, and the Royal Collection's art holdings. But here's the detail most people miss. King Charles III's personal net worth, separate from the institutional crown assets he doesn't personally own, is estimated by the Sunday Times Rich List 2026 at roughly $680 million to $1 billion, about 900 million. That's a real, individually documented figure, not a guess, and it's dramatically smaller than the institutional number most headlines quote. The lesson isn't the number, it's the time horizon. This wealth wasn't built in a bull market. It was built by holding real assets across hundreds of years and letting compounding do what compounding does quietly, patiently, without needing a single lucky break. Takeaway: your money doesn't need to grow fast. It needs to survive long enough to grow at all. The Saudi royal family. The Saudi royal family's influence is tied to one of the largest energy economies on the planet, a resource base that funds Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, a sovereign wealth vehicle valued in the hundreds of billions of dollars. Individual personal wealth within the family is not publicly disclosed at any verified figure, a level of financial privacy almost unheard of among the world's wealthiest people. Takeaway: one income source is a start. An ecosystem built around it is what actually lasts, and privacy, done deliberately, is itself a wealth preservation strategy. Abu Dhabi Royal Family, the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, manages an estimated $900 billion, one of the largest sovereign wealth funds on earth, deliberately spread across global real estate, equities, and private markets, not concentrated in one place. This is state-managed capital, not a personal family balance sheet, and no verified individual net worth. Figure exists publicly for its leadership. Takeaway: diversification isn't just a personal finance buzzword, it's the exact strategy behind some of the largest pools of capital on the planet. Qatar Royal Family. The Qatar Investment Authority holds an estimated $500 billion plus, built from natural gas revenue and redeployed into global assets, from real estate landmarks to major equity stakes in companies most people use daily. As with Abu Dhabi, this is sovereign capital, and no independently verified personal net worth figure exists for individual family members. Takeaway: raw resources fade. What you build with the profits from them doesn't have to. Dubai Royal Family. Here's where individual figures actually exist. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Dubai's ruler, has a personal net worth most commonly estimated in the $14–18 billion range, though estimates across different outlets vary widely, from roughly $4 billion to over $50 billion, depending on how much state-linked business is counted as personal. Separately, Forbes-style estimates place the Dubai royal family's total holdings, combining personal and Dubai-linked business assets, around $19–20 billion on the more conservative end. Takeaway: reinvention is available to anyone. Dubai didn't wait for oil to run out to build something else. It built the next thing while the first thing was still working. And notice how much even verified figures can swing, a sign of how hard real wealth is to measure precisely, even for professionals. Thai royal family king Vajiralongkorn's personal fortune is estimated between 30 billion and 43 billion by Forbes and Reuters, making him, by most documented rankings, the wealthiest reigning monarch alive today. It's built largely through the Crown Property Bureau, which holds a roughly 32% stake in Thailand's largest cement company and a significant stake in one of its biggest banks. Takeaway: land and equity ownership, held for decades, consistently outperforms almost anything flashy. It's boring. It's also one of the most reliable wealth engines in existence. Brunei royal family Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah's personal net worth is estimated at $20–30 billion, once making him the single richest individual on Earth in the early 1990s. Built almost entirely from oil and gas reserves discovered in a country smaller than many single cities. Takeaway: the size of your starting point doesn't determine the ceiling of what you can build. Brunei is barely visible on a world map and still produced one of history's richest individuals. Johor royal family no. Credible financial outlet publishes a verified net worth figure for the Johor royal family at any scale comparable to the entries above. Their business interests span real estate and industry within Malaysia, real but far less publicly documented. Takeaway: you don't need public recognition to build real wealth. Quiet compounding works exactly the same whether anyone's watching or not. Princely-era Indian royal families. An important correction: India abolished official royal privileges in 1971. There's no single unified Indian royal family today, but several former princely families, including the houses of Jaipur, Baroda and Mysore, still hold private real estate and heritage assets, often preserved through tourism, heritage hotels, and cultural preservation rather than political power. None publish a verified net worth figure at anything near a national-scale fortune. Takeaway: when the original source of power disappears, the families that kept the assets, not just the title, are the ones still standing. Luxembourg royal family grand. Duke Henry's personal fortune is not precisely documented, but public estimates place it in the hundreds of millions, not billions, a far smaller figure than every other entry on this list. Despite Luxembourg having one of the highest GDP per capita rates in the world. Takeaway: don't confuse the wealth of a place with the wealth of the people who represent it. The two aren't always correlated. In your own life or anyone else's, none of these families got rich in a single year. None of them are chasing a trend. Every one of them is playing a decades-long, sometimes centuries-long, game of holding real assets, diversifying, and reinvesting, instead of spending down what they built. And notice something else. Even with teams of financial journalists trying to pin these numbers down, several of them still come back undisclosed or with ranges spanning tens of billions. Real wealth at this scale is genuinely hard to measure, which is exactly why a viral graphic claiming trillion-dollar precision should always raise an eyebrow. You don't need a crown to use the same three principles. Own real assets. Don't put everything in one basket, and give your money enough time to actually compound. If this gave you a different way to think about long-term wealth, hit subscribe. Power Chronicles breaks down the real mechanics behind money and power every week. Which figure surprised you most? The institutional number or the personal one? Tell me in the comments. See you in the next one.